Welcome back to our series on home buying. We are now at step 6. We are in our final step of getting you ready to be a homeowner. So today we've met from our initial consultation all the way through our contract. We've had our inspection and our appraisal. We're ready for these final little few days before the closing table. So at this point, we've gotten our homeowner's insurance quote. We've gotten a binder sent over to our lender, and we're ready to start talking about the utilities and how those are going to get turned on. So we're going to send you a list of all the utilities that will be needed for that particular property, and then the dates at which you need to call to make sure that on moving day, you actually have utilities at the property. There's nothing worse than driving up in your moving truck and realizing you have no electricity. So we want to make sure that we avoid that. After we've gotten our insurance squared away, we've gotten our utilities squared away, now we're ready for what's called the final CD, or the final closing disclosure. That'll be sent to you from your lender, and it is what signals to us the clear to close. That's the happy day. That's when we know we're ready to move to the closing table. We just have a 3-day waiting period. So you'll get that 3 days prior to closing, and once that's received, we will go ahead and schedule your final walkthrough. So your final walkthrough is a time where we go back and tour the property. What we're really looking for is this property in the same condition that was in the last time we were here? And if we requested any repairs to be made by the seller, that those repairs have been completed. Should you want your home inspector to come back through and inspect those items that were to be repaired, you absolutely have the right to do that, and this is the time for that to happen. Once we've done the walkthrough, we've secured that everything is as it should be, then we're moving on to the closing table. So we're going to ask you, what time do you like to close? So we'll schedule your appointment with the title company, and at that point, when you receive that closing disclosure, it will tell you the exact dollar amount that you need to bring to the closing table. You'll need to bring that in the form of a cashier's check, or you'll need to have the money wired to the title company. Now, there's lots of wire fraud out there, so be prepared. The title company is going to call and give you those instructions via the phone. They will not send them in an email due to wire fraud. But you need to have one of those two methods of payment. Please don't come to closing with a personal check or a debit card or a box of cash. I've actually seen that one before. It doesn't work. So make sure that you have certified funds via either a cashier's check and or wire. When you show up at the closing table, the other thing that you will need is your driver's license and about 30 to 40-ish minutes. So at the closing table, you'll sign all of your final loan documents. You'll sign everything needed to transfer the deed into your name. You won't actually get the deed at closing. So that takes a while to process. The title company actually has to file the records with the county, and it comes about 6 weeks later. So a lot of people are confused by that. They get there and they want the deed of their property. Well, you won't get it on closing day. It takes a little bit for you to get that. You'll provide the certified funds needed to close, and at that point, typically you will get your keys unless something else has been negotiated on. Sometimes we have to negotiate a delayed occupancy, or we may have negotiated that keys don't transfer until everything has been fully funded. But this is closing day. This is moving day. This is where you get the keys to the property. So we've started this journey way back on step 1, where we met just to see if we were a good fit for one another. You chose to hire us. We chose to work with you. Then we moved through what you had to have in a property. What were your dreams? What were your wishes? And what were your true needs? Then we got you pre-approved, made sure you could pay for the property, and we've moved through that process of finding the perfect one. This is it. It's closing day. Congratulations, you're a homeowner.